What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be discussing the price of Bitcoin and also the stock market. And I want to talk about Bitcoin's relationship to the stock market. I've seen that a lot of finance influencers on YouTube, social media in general, have been discussing a stock market crash of some kind that's looming around the corner. I mean, people talk about this all the time. But I want to talk about the comparison between Bitcoin and the stock market, what it would mean for Bitcoin if the stock market did see a correction. And the reason that I'm bringing this up today is because the US dollar index did see a nice move up over 0.5%. The stock market closed down, the S&P closed down 0.71%. So, this discussion has come up today about all of this. Now, I want to talk about where the S&P is at this current point in time. And this is the chart since the global pandemic, right? February, March 2020. Since then, we've had an awesome recovery for the S&P. It's been on this really steady upward sloping channel. It's almost been like unfazed by everything, just floating up, just floating straight up above that $4,000 level. We're currently at 4,448. And the last time we were in a position like this was back here in 2017, going into 2018. And I thought that was interesting because this was the height of the Bitcoin bull market. And if you go and you look at the weekly chart for Bitcoin on the top here and the S&P on the bottom here, you can see that both of their bull runs respectively ended around a similar time period in 2017 going into 2018. Bitcoin was a bit of a leading indicator, right? But once the S&P and Bitcoin both, they both started to see volatility right after that point here going into 2018. So a lot of volatility. They both bottomed around the same point in time. They both recovered around the same point in time. Of course, during the global pandemic, everything dumped at the same time, and they recovered around the same time. So, there's a general degree of correlation. The correlation coefficient tool shows that about 80% of the time, there is some degree of correlation between the S&P 500 and Bitcoin. Almost 80% of the time, there is some degree of correlation. So I'm not here to say that they're always correlated, right? There's going to be days where the S&P and Bitcoin aren't correlated at all, right? Like recently with the mining, right? The China miners shutting down. Of course, that doesn't affect the S&P. So yes, there's going to be times of uncorrelation, right? Less correlation, just like we saw recently because of events like that. But there is a general degree of correlation. So this is the interesting part about the S&P 500 in 2017 going into 2018. We were in a steady upward sloping channel, very similar to what we're seeing right now. And this trend ended when the S&P 500 found a true blow off top. We exited this channel up. We came back. We couldn't hold it as support. And we started to see a lot of volatility in this range. And it's similar to the time period that Bitcoin started to see a lot of volatility as well, right? So if we just go over here to what we're seeing now for the S&P, a lot of people are talking about a stock market crash. I think it's because they can't believe that stocks are just still going up, right? We're just seeing new all-time highs after new all-time highs, and people are like, wait a minute, doesn't there have to be a crash or something? But I think that what's more likely, just based on human behavior and my experience, is that the stock market would enter a final euphoria peak where maybe we, continue to be a little bit steady for a while. We enter a blow-off top phase, which you never know how long that could be before the correction really begins, right? So I'm looking for a final euphoria phase in the stock market, maybe coming alongside some news of the Fed raising interest rates or something like that, in 2022 or something along those lines. So I have not seen any signs of a stock market top yet. You can come up with all the fundamental reasons for why the stock market should collapse right now or something. But technically, guys, we are still in a really nice uptrend. And I think we're probably going to continue to maintain this steady uptrend and enter a final blow-off top phase, maybe somewhere in 2022. And I think that Bitcoin does have the ability to continue holding its trend similar to like it did in 2017. I think we're in a similar position here, and I'm just waiting for the stock market to really find some sort of peak moment. And of course, I know a lot of people are going to be wondering about the current price action for Bitcoin. We are seeing a potential lower high. Of course, when you get a breakout like above this $40,000 to $42,000 level, of course, coming back to retest it as support would not be a surprise. As long as we can create higher lows from this point, I wouldn't be all too worried. If we fall below 40,000, that's when the bearish case gains momentum, guys, right? We don't want to be coming back to these support levels because that would just be indicative of a bear market, right? Lower highs, horizontal lows. We don't want to see that, right? So I guess another question that people are probably going to have is, if the S&P does find a blow off top, we go up for the next, maybe 6 months or something or less or more, give or take, up to 5,000. And we find a blow off top for the S&P above the price channel. What does that mean for Bitcoin? Well, that could mean for Bitcoin, if we go to the cycle charts here, let's go from the last market cycle top, we can see that we have this really steady lower highs in market cycle peaks. So this could mean that if we're looking at the average here, it would probably mean for Bitcoin about $120,000 to $180,000 if we're looking at the average. Right, I already drew up these lines. I've already made the comparison. It would mean Bitcoin would be going to about 120 to 180,000. So if we did find a longer term recovery, we would be looking for a blow off top going into 2022 alongside the S&P 500, right? Something along these lines. It's just a potential scenario that I'm looking at, right? Nothing is guaranteed, but this is just what I'm thinking is quite possible right now. So if you guys enjoyed this video, very speculative topic, right? Just a lot of speculative ideas that I'm talking about here. Definitely leave a like and subscribe to this channel. Leave your comments below, leave your thoughts below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.